Welcome to Navigating the Customer Experience. Want to improve your organization's customer service? Looking for insider tips to knock your customer socks off? Then you're in the right place. Here's your host, Yanique Grant.
Welcome to Navigating the Customer Experience. On today's episode, our guest is Boscq Scott. Claire is a wonderful entrepreneur, and she is a mystery shopping and customer service specialist. Claire lives to inspire global businesses to thrive by delivering exceptional customer experiences in measuring and improving employees' performances. Number 5, top 30 global customer service guru, UK's top 10 CX influencer and CX thought leader 2020 with 3 decades of expertise in mystery shopping and customer service. Claire, aka the Busy Queen Bee, is an authority in the customer experience industry. She brings a more holistic and comprehensive approach to employee and customer experience. She is a keynote speaker, consultant, and trainer specializing in retail and hospitality. Author of 3 books, Thrive with the Hive, Thriving by Caring, and launched in September 2020, number 1 Amazon bestseller and hot new release in customer service, The Secret Diary of a Mystery Shopper. Her online learning and development platform, BQB CX Institute, offers a wide range of online and on-site training and has developed her Caring Service Culture Leadership Program, a game changer for many organizations who want to become truly customer-centric. So without further delay, sit back, plug your earphones in, and let's dive right into this fantastic conversation with Claire. Welcome, Claire.
Hello. How are you?
I am good. And you?
Excellent. Yeah, it's so lovely speaking to you from across the world, from one end of the world to the other. So it's really, really nice to see how much we're sharing the same passion, and from on completely different countries and actually different island, because you're on an island and I'm on an island too.
Yes, that is very true. So Claire, could you share a little bit about your journey for us? I know that I read your bio and it was just amazingly fantastic, but we like to hear from our guests, a little bit about their journey, how it is that you got into what you're doing today, into mystery shopping, into being a customer experience thought leader, a little about how you got to where you are today.
Sure. So similar background as you actually, Yanique. I did. My dad had a restaurant, so I kind of grew up in that environment. And I guess when you're in that environment, you either love it or hate it, don't you? So I loved it. I love the interaction with customers. I love seeing people having fun. And so I did my catering school, hotel and service management, hospitality in Nice, down the south of France. So I am French originally. And then I knew I had to speak English. I had to be able to speak better English if I wanted to do something with my life. So I made it a mission to try to find a job somewhere I could speak English. And I find this little tiny island right across Saint-Malo between France and England, which is called Jersey. And that was my very first time in Jersey when I was just an 18 years old young girl, just coming out of catering school. So I did a few seasons. So I was doing ski resort seasons in France and then Jersey in the summer. And then I went and worked at Disney World in Florida.
Lovely.
So that was that was 25 years ago. Can you believe it? That was my very first serious approach on customer experience and what truly the word means about customer experience and employee experience. And anybody who's worked out there, 25 years ago seems like it was a couple of months ago. We had such an incredible time in terms of the training, in terms of the environment, in terms of, everything that is done in that organization. It really is to put the customers in the middle of everything that they do. So when I came back from America after a year working there, I knew I wanted to continue in that path. And so I continued in hotels and started managing hotels. And I moved back to Jersey on this little island when I first came when I was 18
Mm-hmm.
to actually run the hotel. I came here to be a little receptionist a few years before, which was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So very much in the receiving end of the service industry, very much in the receiving end in trying to help our customers in really kind of delivering those great service. And about 11 years ago, I used to work in a hotel, which was a group, UK group, and we had mystery guests, and those guests had to be flown over from the UK to actually be able to perform mystery guests. And I was thinking, well, surely we should be able to do that locally.
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that at the time there was no one on our little island which was doing the mystery shopping, so the measurement of customer experience. And that's all it all started, really, a little idea thinking, well, perhaps I could do that. And so I handed my notice in, I sold my house, I got divorced, and I started my own business, and that was it.
All right. It all
All
came
right.
together.
Yeah, everything together. Well, if you're going to do it, you may as well do everything at once, don't you?
Agreed. Totally
Get it
agree.
all started.
Totally agree.
So the business, the core of the business was measuring the customer satisfaction and the employee performances, of course. And as you do the measurement and as you help, the companies, your clients to analyze the results, you realize there's a lot of gaps in the businesses. So you realize that really they haven't got some great standard. They don't really understand what the customer experience is about or the customer journey. They have no employee experience mapping in their toolbox. They're training their staff, but they're not really training them regularly or consistently or with the right materials. So there's a lot of work needed to be done before you could actually measure. And
Mm-hmm.
so over the years, from really doing the mystery shopping, which is almost the last part of it, I'd started helping the businesses throughout their whole employee and customer strategy.
Mm-hmm. All right, sounds good. So you have quite a few books as it relates to customer experience and mystery shopping, right? As we read when we were reading your bio. But your most
Mm.
recent book that you published earlier this year, right, at the onset of COVID, is A Secret Diary of a Mystery Shopper. So could you tell us a little bit about that book? I mean, who is it for? Um, and also, I think it's important to also, if you could share with us, persons I think mystery shopping is only for companies that are big, large organizations.
Right.
What is your idea on that? Do you think everybody needs to do mystery shopping, and can it be done on a small scale versus a large scale, and how do you approach it?
Absolutely. And I think that's probably one of the mystery shopping is probably one of the easiest way and quickest way to really realize where you are at this moment in time in terms of your, performances in your business.
Mm-hmm.
You could put a CX strategy, you could take 4 months, 6 months before you start embedding things and implementing trainings and new strategies, and you start seeing some changes. With mystery
Mm-hmm.
shopping, it's a measurement. So, you creating a questionnaire where you want to really see what the objectives of it is about, what you're trying to achieve.
Right.
And then you're sending out mystery shoppers, they're answering the questions, and there you go. Within 48 hours, really, you can have some results and you can start being able to improve, areas, celebrating success, of course,
Mm-hmm.
because we always want to celebrate success, but improving areas which potentially being identified as needed a little bit of TLC.
Mm-hmm.
So mystery shopping, yes, very much. You're right, Yannick. For a very long time, it's been seen as large organization, um, and possibly also bricks and mortar, so retail industry, rather than anyone else. Potentially, yes, or hospitality as well. You've got the hotel inspectors kind of things, but it has very, very much grew, and especially with this year, a huge boom into different communications, really, because suddenly we were not face to face. Suddenly we were all online. Suddenly we were using WhatsApp. Suddenly we were using some new communications channels that we never had before, or very, very, a small amount of people were. So it really started to think, well, actually, well, if we have communicating with our customers this way, we also need to measure this way. So, your website needs to be looked at. When is the last time you've actually read your website? When is the last time you've actually pressed on the buttons of your website to see what is working, what isn't working? How long does it take for, an inquiry to come to you? How do you answer to the customers? What are the words you are using? And so all those things which are, the journey mapping, and when we talk about journey mapping, whether it's online, on the phone, or face to face, it's exactly the same. And whether you're solopreneur or a large organization, you need to know what is happening in your business and how you're delivering, those services, or the promise of your services. How is it fulfilled? So there's a lot of new areas, which is a reason why I've published a book as well. I mean, the book, I guess you've got quite a few stories as well in your little handbag, Yanique, of good service, bad service, those kind of things. So I've had this book. I've been keeping stories of mystery shoppers, been incredible over the years. So I thought, isn't it just a perfect opportunity that we have, the pandemic, and businesses are looking at what they're doing and how they're doing it, to give some ideas on what's good, what doesn't look good, what you should be doing and what you shouldn't be doing. So The Secret Diary of a Mystery Shopper kind of says it all on the title. They are true stories from mystery shoppers. Some stories were from people who'd given me some stories of good service. And some stories are, the bad stories, and also the exceptional stories, because I believe, positive breed positive.
Yes.
So if you show things, are going well, you can show things where they've done amazing job here, give people the ideas and thinking, oh, well, if they can do it, I can do it too. So that's why The Secret Diary of a Mystery Shopper was published, and very, very quickly it was in my head. I've written, I've seen myself on stage, doing that keynote and talking about it and doing that. I think it should be a great series, a television series, Yanique.
Yes. Like Undercover Boss.
If we got a TV producer listening to us, please let me know. I'd love to send you a copy of it.
For sure.
So it's I think you learn by stories better, because people can relate, and you use that as well in your website. We connect on an emotional level. So if you're connecting with customers, whether it's a good emotions or whether it's a bad emotions, your customers will remember you, for sure.
For sure. All right. So basically, to sum up what you've said, you're basically saying that mystery shopping is something that all organizations should do. And even if you do it on a small scale, just to get an idea of what is happening, because I find a lot of executives are totally disconnected from what's happening on the ground with their actual customers.
Yeah.
Especially if they don't make it an intentional act of theirs to interface as a customer themselves, whether to call the business, as you said, or visit the website and click on a few buttons, or even shop with the business, going as a regular customer to a branch that you probably would have never visited before, to have that experience yourself, because then you'll understand why your customers complain, what are some of the pain points they're having, and where are the opportunities that exist that could be improved. Maybe some are low-hanging fruit, things that you could change effective immediately, and some may require a little bit more investment and thought.
Yeah, and one thing that I've done as well during the pandemic, obviously with with a non-face-to-face. I've created an online course on how to set up a mystery shopping program, because I've seen a lot of clients locally, smaller businesses who, we had conversation with and saying, Claire, I'd love to do it, but I can't afford your pricing. I can't afford to get an organization to do it for me. And so they go off and then they put a little questionnaire together. They'll ask their friend and family to do it. And then it comes back with not very good response. They come back with moans rather than objective responses. And so they think, oh, well, that thing doesn't work. And then that's it. They let it go. And they're not getting the right information. So I put that program together to actually help the smaller organization.
Mm-hmm.
And so they can do it right and they can follow the steps,
Agreed.
I give templates of a mystery shopping questionnaire. I show them how they should train their friends and family. If they're going to use friend and family, there's a little video on how to be a mystery shopper.
Mm-hmm.
So those kind of things, are important. You need to know what is going on in your organization. Otherwise, how do you manage it? It's an important part of that customer experience strategy, of course. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. All right. So as it relates to customer experience, Claire, it's, as you had mentioned earlier in our conversation, it's been a very unusual year. How have you seen customer experience evolve or not evolve? I personally have seen that I think it's gotten worse as a result of the pandemic. I think customers are paying more attention to how they're being served, especially how they're being treated when they enter your establishment. And the pandemic has brought that more to the forefront. Of course, I know it can be more cultural in some countries or in some regions. What has it been like in your areas?
I think the first thing that it has brought to the company, they straight away got into a firefighting mode,
Mm-hmm.
where everything gets dropped off. So for me, I lost all my clients in 3 days. And it was quite remarkable and quite a shock in thinking, actually, is it really what you should be doing? When there's something where people are going to need more help and support, should you be letting go all the training? Should you be letting go all the exercises and the help, the support you're giving, so you can actually give even better customer service during a pandemic?
Mm-hmm.
But you can understand people, and I think that's the biggest problem in the kind of the bigger challenges. Really, it's that CX or EX, employee experience and customer experience, isn't seen as a benefit but as a cost.
Yeah.
So, so company will stop that because they see it as a cost rather than they're seeing it. Wow, our employees are going to need more support. They need more training on how to handle those customers who are scared, how to handle customers who are going to be shouting. How can we give them some emotional intelligence training? How can we teach them a bit of resilience? How can we teach them a bit of mindfulness so they can actually feel better in themselves?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of things that really could be done and should have been done. And some companies have been absolutely incredible by, the way they've turned things. And certainly has moved from the customer experience being in the forefront to the employee experience coming at the forefront. And that's, for me, it's an important part of it, because if we have no employees, if your employees aren't feeling well, if they're not happy, if they're not content, if they're not, if they don't feel valued and cared for, they won't care for your customers.
Not at all.
So businesses need to bring more care into what they do. They really do need to bring more care into their organization. And I always talk about the yin and yang. So I always have a bit of a holistic approach to ECX. And, the yang energy, it's like, let's do it. Let's go. More figures, more sales, more this, more that.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, we need to bring a little bit of that yin energy where we actually pause and we actually ask our employee how they're feeling today. We go and see our customers and we shake their hands and we remember their names and we connect with them on an emotional level. And that's really the difference between that yin energy and that caring energy and that yang energy, which is all that pandemic scarcity and anxiety that everybody's trying to firefight against.
Yes, totally agree. Totally agree. All right, Claire, could you share with us maybe what's the one online resource, tool, website, or app that you absolutely can't live without in your business?
In my personal business,
Mm-hmm.
okay, my personal business, I use OneNote, which is part of Microsoft
Yeah,
Suite.
part of Office 365.
Yes, and I've been using it for quite a few years now, and I walk a lot in the morning. Yanique, I go for almost 45 minutes, 50 minutes walk in the morning, so I can make some notes, I can copy paste, I can, write a speech, I can. OneNote has been something really, really incredible. I use it absolutely every day.
Okay.
And the last few months, obviously with the pandemic as well, I've been doing a lot of videos and a lot of video recording and I've been using a software called Camtasia.
Nice. Yes, I know Camtasia.
Yes, very nice, very nice. So I've got to send you, Yannick, the Queen Bee Christmas message
Oh, lovely.
that I've just recorded, and then you'll see how actually I've done all that on Camtasia, and I'm really getting the hang of it and really enjoying that. I think videos are a very, very powerful way to get ourselves more visible, more credible, more likable. People relate to you when they see you,
Yeah.
and you're able to share a message, and there's that visual, and you can also add a bit of music and all that kind of thing. So there's a real something about video that makes it quite powerful.
Nice. Okay. All right. So we will have Microsoft OneNote and the link for Camtasia in the links. We'll have it as links in the show notes of this episode for all of our listeners who may want to connect with those applications. Could you share with us maybe one or two books that have had the biggest impact on you?
Oh, obviously the Secret Diary of a Mystery Shopper. No, I plug that one in.
Yes.
No, there was so I'm a Feng Shui practitioner. You know Feng Shui,
Yes,
Yannick?
yes.
Okay,
Actually
so
interviewed a Feng Shui expert. I think
oh,
about
did
3 weeks.
you?
Yeah, her episode went public. I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago. It was really good. You should have a listen.
Oh, I will do. Yes, absolutely. So for me, I think just the same for her, but I bring Feng Shui into the environment of our clients.
Mm-hmm.
So again, the environment will affect the way people perform. If you feel good in your environment, you will, deliver great, amazing service.
Agreed.
If it's dark, if there's no colors, if it's cluttered everywhere, no one's going to perform the way they should be.
Mm-hmm.
So I discovered Feng Shui probably about 10 years ago now. And one of the books that really got me going was Move Your Stuff, Change Your Life.
Mm.
And it was a very simple, so it was more of a European way of Feng Shui.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went on and got trained with Davina McKell, who is a Feng Shui master.
Mm-hmm.
And so I've developed quite a lot of the Feng Shui in my leadership program. When I do a big program with organization, we will look at the culture, we will look at the environment, we will look at the people, and we will look at the customers. So those are the 4 areas where I really, really focus when we do a big program on ECX.
Okay, sounds good.
So great book to read.
All right.
Self started with Feng Shui. That's a really simple and really easy way to get started.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you for sharing. So we'll also have the book, the link to that book in the notes of this episode. Now, Claire, could you share with us one thing that's going on in your life right now that you're really excited about? It could be something that you're working on to develop yourself or something you're working on to develop your people.
I can't tell you, otherwise I'll have to kill you.
My.
Is that intriguing enough?
Oh my, it's very intriguing.
I think the Secret Diary of a Mystery Shopper was kind of a catalyst to start for me a repositioning in terms of my keynote speaking, in terms of my consultancy, because there's I'm sure you know, Yanique, there's quite a lot of CX experts out there.
Yeah.
And everybody seems to be doing CX at the moment, which is great. You know, it's really good because it kind of bring a whole new forces and a whole new energy in terms of people wanting to help. But so I've really wanted to reposition the mystery shopping as the key part of what I do. So my new keynote is can you afford to be clueless about your customer service? So, you know, I'm doing a new keynote with the book. I'm preparing next year, possibly doing an Audible book with more stories. And the idea is also to share the book, translate it in different countries, and actually add more stories with the different countries that we talk to. So there's a few things that in the pipeline that I've got for next year.
Sounds good. All right. So our listeners would have listened to this episode and they heard all of the wonderful things that you're doing, Claire, and they're also intrigued about some of the things you just mentioned as it relates to what you have in your pipeline. Can you tell our listeners where they can find you online? They listen to this episode, they're intrigued, maybe they just want to follow your story, or they want to connect with you because possibly they may see an opportunity for a great collaboration or alliance. Where can they find you online?
The easiest way, you just Google me. I'm everywhere, Yanique. Absolutely everywhere. You're looking at Instagram, I'm there. You're looking at, Twitter, I'm there. Facebook, LinkedIn. So Claire Boscq Scott, it's quite, when you get the spelling right, it's quite a specific name. So you'll come up, it does come up quite quickly on the research. Or Busy Queen Bee, which is also the name of the business when I first started the business. So if you look for Busy Queen Bee, you will find the informations as well. But Claire Boscq Scott on social media, you'll find me there. And I'd be very happy to do half an hour chat with anybody who wants to perhaps bounce some ideas or things. If you just let me know that you're coming from you, Yanique, and you've listened to that podcast, I'd be very happy to do that.
Wonderful. All right. And just to remind our guests, Claire's name is spelled Claire, last name Boscq Scott, BOSCQ-SCOTT, correct?
Yes, that's it. But when it's online, there's no hyphen.
It's just one word.
In lowercase.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right.
All one word.
Okay. All right. So before we wrap our interviews up, we always like to ask our guests, do you have a quote or a saying that during times of adversity or challenge, you'll tend to revert to this quote? It kind of helps to keep you focused or just get you back on track if you feel like you are getting derailed.
Well, I think my kind of strapline is bringing more care into what you do, bringing more care into your employees, your environment and your customers, and you will have a thriving business. And I think that's an important part. We do get busy on the busy side of it. But if that pandemic has showed us something is, if we don't care for our employees, well, they're never going to perform. They're going to be, working remotely and not feeling any love from anybody. And so it's really important that we really care, for our environment, our people, and our customers. So, yeah.
Amazing. Sounds wonderful. So give more care. That's You know, it's funny you mentioned that because when I started this business, my tagline is to create a more caring, well, not the tagline, the vision for the company is to
Right.
create a more caring world. But the reason why I came up with that tagline is when I was a little girl, I used to watch this cartoon on Disney Channel called The Care Bears. I don't know if you're familiar with it.
Oh, yes, yes, yes,
And
yes.
they all have these little different care symbols on their tummies. And when they
That's right.
shine their light on everybody, it transforms them into being more kind or more generous or, just, and that was my vision for when I started business that, at the end of the day, whatever I'm doing with a business, whether it be through market research, mystery shopping, customer service training, leadership training, it all should be with the mindset that I am trying to create a more caring world like a Care Bear. So it's really
Brilliant.
nice to know that we
Yeah,
may
we
not have
obviously
thought of
have
it from the same perspective, but we definitely have the
absolutely, we
same goal in
obviously
mind.
same. Yes, we're definitely thinking the same way.
Yeah, amazing. All right, Claire. Well, thank you very, very much for taking time out of your very busy schedule for jumping on this podcast today with us and sharing all of these wonderful insights. It was extremely enlightening and we really appreciate it.
And my real pleasure. Anytime it would be amazing. And why not? Maybe next year, let's do something in Jamaica
Yeah,
together.
that sounds really, really good. I'm sure you'll prefer it here because the weather is warm all year round.
Yes, warmer than Jersey, I'll tell you what.
All right.
Definitely. That sounds like a plan to me.
Awesome. All right, Claire. Well, guys, just want to remind you, please hop on to Facebook and join our private Facebook community, Navigating the Customer Experience Community, and feel free to follow us on Twitter at NavigatingCX. Until next time, I'm your host, Yanique Grant. Thank you for listening to Navigating the Customer Experience. If you'd like to connect with us even more, please feel free to hop onto Facebook and join our private Facebook group, Navigating the Customer Experience Community. And of course, feel free to follow us on Twitter at NavigatingCX. We also have a new book available on Amazon, The ABCs of a Fantastic Customer Experience. It's available in ebook and paperback. So if you want to increase revenue in your organization, build a stronger service culture, and create employees or develop employees who are really mastering service delivery in your business, you need to grab a copy of this book. Until next time, I'm your host, Yanique Grant.
Thanks for listening. For more awesome resources to take your customer service game to another level, head over to navigatingthecustomerexperience.com. See you next time.